Well, I'm very happy to say I've finally seen an episode of Game of Thrones.
I know, right?
It's only been a decade since the show started airing? Prior to today, about 2 hours ago, the only two things I knew about the show was that one, people die in it a lot, and they tell you not to get attached to anyone because everyone dies. And two, the first episode ends with a kid getting pushed out of a window. I know that because I've seen that somehow 3 fucking times before today. And I've never seen anything else from the show.
I love that that's the only thing you knew.
Hello everyone, my name is Fabulous Fish.
And I'm Ghoti101.
And welcome to this Game of Thrones discussion series. So, this was actually supposed to premiere before the Scooby-Doo one. I thought it'd be kind of funny to have, a kids cartoon from the 50s series going at the same time as a series based on a very, modern, mature show.
Yeah.
So I figured let's do Game of Thrones and Scooby-Doo, because I wanted to see Game of Thrones for a few years, and Katie's never seen Scooby-Doo.
Or Game of Thrones.
Or Game of Thrones, for that matter. So this is blind for both of us. We're both going completely blind.
Right.
And we managed to both be very spoiler-free.
Yeah, no, I've always been pretty good at avoiding spoilers.
Me too.
A gift.
It's not that. Just don't look up shit from it. It's that easy.
Yeah.
So we finally got around to actually watching the first episode now. And just as a warning to everyone, 2 things I'm going to say. First off, we are probably going to, for those of you watching, we are probably going to spoil every episode in our discussions.
Yes.
So we're going to be spoiling the first episode here. If you haven't already seen it, go check it out for yourself. The second thing, and this is a fair warning to everyone watching this who may be a huge Game of Thrones fan, I'm a nitpicky asshole. You just have to accept that. I hate everything.
That is...
I'm very cynical.
You've also turned me into kind of a cynical person too, though I think I'm a lot easier on media than you are.
That said, I wouldn't say anything we saw today was bad. So,
Right.
It's not like I'm going in with the intent of hating everything. I enjoyed it. But
yeah, it was really well made. I mean, it's very high budget, wasn't it?
Definitely. So, I guess we should probably start by kind of just summarizing it a bit.
Yeah,
for anyone who
you're
maybe,
probably better at that than I am.
For anyone who maybe hasn't seen it themselves in a while, or if you don't care about watching yourself and just want us to spoil everything because you find my summaries funny.
Yeah.
So basically, there was a few different plot lines going on at once. I think the overarching story for the show is that the king died. They put googly eye rocks on his body when he died. I don't know why they did that, but he's the big king and he died.
Yeah.
And then that was pretty much it. There was a few different groups we met. We met Boromir, Sean Bean. His character's name was Ned, which I felt was really out of place.
It was the last kind of name I was expecting.
Yeah, he was just Ned Flanders here over as he was a father, 5 children?
Yeah.
So he had he had the one little boy, the guy who gets pushed out the window, his name was Bra, as far as I could tell.
That's what we heard.
They were always come on, Bra. Yo, what's up, Bra?
And he has a sister who's the same age, who we just call Sis.
And we'll call her Sis, because it's Bra and Sis. And then one of the kids, he's older than them, is Jon Snow, and he's a bastard child.
Then there were a few others, and I don't know their names.
They were just kind of looking around the woods, investigating rumors that they were these zombies that killed a small militia. The zombies were kind of just there at the beginning. We did see them on screen, so we know they're there. But then I'm assuming they'll come back later. They weren't really... I'm assuming they're building up to something.
Yeah, and they're called the White Walkers.
The Walkers? That's what they called the zombies in Walking Dead. They called them the Walkers.
And the group at the beginning, they killed the one guy. They beheaded him because they thought that he killed his group mates or whatever.
Well, they at least knew he deserted them. He ran away.
Right.
And they didn't believe his story about the zombies.
Yeah, so they probably thought that he killed them or
either killed them or left them to die.
Yeah, I know that they said deserted.
Yeah.
And that's why they beheaded him then.
Then we also met a few other characters. So we met the Boromir has a friend who they're also calling the king. He's kind of a fat dude. Call him, I guess, Mikkel.
Mikkel.
Fat leader. I'm going to make up names. I'll probably learn their names eventually, but until then I'm going to make up my own names.
Yeah.
So, he was just kind of there. He's apparently the king of, I'm assuming, another land based on what they're talking about, because he seemed to have come from pretty far away.
Yeah.
And he was offering for Boromir to be his assistant. Apparently his previous assistant was killed recently, and he, Mikkel and the assistant's now widowed wife both think that his previous assistant was murdered. So they think there's someone conspiring against him. So that'll probably come back up later. Then we met the king who died. He had a wife, which we're just going to call the queen. And the queen had 2 brothers. One I'm going to call Clive. He was big and tall.
looks like a Clive.
He looks like Clive from Fire Emblem Shadows of Frontier to me.
Yeah, he does.
So I'm going to call him Clive. And then the other brother was the midget.
Right.
So I'll call him the midget.
The midget who has lots of sex.
The midget who, for a midget, gets pretty strong sense of game there. But,
Yeah.
but I'm assuming they also are trying to take power too.
Yeah.
I just figure that's everyone's motive right now.
They're the they starts with an L. Their family's name starts with an L. Do you remember what it was?
Not at all. Okay.
The
a lot of people,
Langoliers.
the Langoliers. Like, I've had people tell me the show's hard to follow. My dad's told me it's hard to follow.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also, like, I've had the same people tell me that, like, Inception was hard to follow, and I had no trouble following Inception, so I don't know. We'll see if it's hard to follow. We'll see. Maybe it is, but
Yeah.
At least I followed this first episode. I didn't learn any of the names, but I could piece together what was happening.
I followed it for the most part. I mean, I don't know. I had to ask you a few times to clarify just to make sure that I was right.
And then the one other like group of people we met was the blonde girl.
Mm-hmm. And
met her
creeper brother.
Yeah, her fucking creepy ass brother who was like feeling her up and stuff. That was weird. And she got married off to the king of the Dvorki, or whatever they're called. They're like these shirtless guys, these buff shirtless guys with eyeliner.
Yeah. I think his name is Drogo, wasn't it?
Drogo.
Isn't that the name of Frodo's father?
I don't
Lord
know.
of the Rings.
They're supposed to be like, they're called savages. I mean, they had definitely a different culture, but having taken a lot of intercultural courses, I don't know that you can necessarily call someone a savage for having a different culture.
Yeah.
But everyone else views them as savages. Well, we'll see. They definitely had a very masculinity-based culture.
Yeah, definitely.
And now keep in mind, this video is going to be on YouTube, and I do like to put clips of it in, and my channel is only ever PG-13 with its contents because of that. Some of the gory stuff I'm not going to show, some of the nudity, if I do show, I'll censor it with like a picture of Draphael from the Yoshi's Island Let's Play.
Perfect.
But that was pretty much it. And then at the end, Bra climbed up the window and saw Clive and the Queen, even though they're siblings, he saw them having sex, and so Clive pushed him out the window. And that was the only scene I ever saw before today.
Yeah.
Although,
it ended.
Honest to God, I'm pretty sure he lived, because I feel like, I mean, this possibly killed him off, but like, I feel like they put too much time into talking on him in this episode. I don't think they would have killed him off like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know.
Just see, being a nitpicky asshole doesn't just mean I hate everything. It does mean I'm very analytical when it comes to stories. I tend to be very like deconstructive of the plots and the character archetypes and stuff.
Yeah.
And just the impression I get is that kid's gonna be, I'm not sure he's going to be that important, but he's going to have more importance than just getting pushed out of a window, so I don't think they killed him off, personally. I'd be very surprised they started the next one with him actually dead.
I have a feeling that he's gonna be dead, though. Because I know that Jon Snow is a big character, right? So I feel like they might put more focus on him.
Okay, so
later.
I lied when I said I didn't know anything, because I also knew Jon Snow was the name of somebody.
Yes,
That was
me
the
too.
only other thing I knew about it. So, okay, I lied if I said all I knew is the kid gets pushed out the window and everyone dies, because I also knew that there was someone named Jon Snow.
And I knew that there was a pretty blonde girl in this show.
Oh, I knew that too. Yes, I knew there was an attractive blonde girl and that you see her boobs a lot.
Yeah, I don't mind that.
No. So I guess now we have the summary out of the way. So what were your thoughts on this episode? Because you've actually seen this one before.
Yeah, I saw the first episode before, and I feel like I understood it more watching it a second time, but
That's because you were watching it.
I was watching it with friends the first time, so we were probably not fully paying attention.
Friends who were also not especially critical people.
Right. But I thought that it was a good way to kick off the show. I thought that it was, there were slow parts, but I feel like you need that in a pilot episode to explain things. And for the most part, I feel like they put the exposition in a pretty organic way.
I feel like it could have been 45 minutes. It didn't need to be an hour.
Was it really a full hour?
Yeah, it was a full hour.
Oh, wow.
And we also got interrupted when we were 5 minutes from the end and had to pause for 20 minutes. So that sucks.
Yeah.
And that kind of took me out of the experience a bit.
Yeah.
But
the very opening scene was pretty cool.
I was mixed on the opening scene. I thought it went on for a long time. Mm-hmm. Like, I thought the beginning, like, up until the zombies started coming, I thought it was really slow and it was kind of predictable where it was going. I'll tell you, zombies are something I definitely wasn't expecting. I wasn't entirely sure if there was anything, like, supernatural in the show, if there's any magic or anything.
Yeah.
I know that to someone who's probably seen Game of Thrones or knows more about it than I do, they're probably like, what? You don't know there's like, wizards and dragons and shit? But keep in mind, I literally know nothing about the show going in.
Neither do I.
So I wasn't sure if that was going to turn into zombies or they're just people who were killed by, like, other bad people or something. Mm-hmm. So now I know. Now I know that there are zombies. Now I know that there are some supernatural things in the show.
Mm-hmm. And they killed the only guy who saw them.
Yeah, that's probably going to come bite them in the ass later.
Yeah.
And I mean, for the most part, I didn't have any huge problems with it. It was definitely slow. I think the pacing would probably be my biggest issue, but it wasn't even like an issue. It wasn't bad pacing, you know?
Yeah, it was definitely slow, though.
Yeah, no, but like, that's not a bad thing. I don't want it to come off like that's a bad thing. Mm-hmm. It's just like, I hope the pacing continues to pick up as the show goes on, and I'm sure it will.
Yeah, because this is the first episode. They need to kind of explain everything.
Although I do have problems with how many, like, they kind of drilled in a few things I noticed. Like, for instance, the first time Clive and the Queen talk, he addresses her, so as your brother, I think we need to do this. Mm-hmm. That's the first time they interact. Then later, when they're coming to visit Boromir's town, Sis says to Bra, oh, that's the Queen's brother. It's like they're really hammering that in. Because at the end, they're fucking each other, and it's supposed to be like, oh, see, this is so that you remember that this is incest. So, you know, but it's like, I don't know, it felt a little cheesy how they had to, like, kind of, I thought that exposition felt kind of just, like, thrown on there.
Oh, I thought the first time they did it was fine, though, because, like, it did establish...
The first time they did it was fine, but it also, like, I could tell right away, like, this is exposition, this is going to become relevant to something. Uh-huh. But the second time, I was like, we didn't need Sis to explain it again. Yeah. There's only, like, a scene later, too.
I didn't pick up on that they were, like, trying to foreshadow for something bigger later. I thought they were just doing it to help you.
Well, I didn't say necessarily they were trying to foreshadow something bigger in this episode, but I thought it was going to become relevant somehow. Yeah. Like, you could tell right away it was going to become relevant because they were mentioning it. Mm-hmm. When you start being, like more critical about the story stuff, you kind of, like, pick up on the techniques people do to kind of explain things. Yeah. And, I mean, to their credit, I don't even think it was necessarily bad that he's like, as your brother. It's just, like, I noticed right away this is going to somehow come into play.
Yeah. It definitely did feel like exposition, but, yeah, it didn't bother me.
Honestly, to its credit, I didn't think most of the exposition was that bad.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Most of it was integrated pretty naturally, I think, which is definitely, like, a good thing. A lot of media in general has trouble just dumping exposition on people. Yeah. So I thought they did a really good job, like, kind of breaking it down to just making it feel like natural conversation between different people. Mm-hmm. Like, apparently, Fat King Mikkel used to have a thing for Boromir's sister before she died.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And, like, they did a good job integrating that, where, like, they explained it to you without it feeling like he's just dumping exposition on you. He's not just like, Boromir, do you remember when I used to sleep with your sister? You know what I mean?
Yeah, they did a good job with that. The acting is really good, too.
Yeah, they did a good job making you feel very human.
They did.
I would also say the effects are good. Like, I could kind of tell that some of them looked a little fake. Mm-hmm. Like, I think it was in the snow scene at the beginning where, like, the zombie cut off the one guy's head. The
head was, like, clearly just, like a mold or something.
Yeah, the head did not look real to me at all. But, like, I mean, for the most part, the effects are pretty good. You guys have to remember, it's not that hard to impress me with effects, because, like, I know it's fake going in. I grew up playing, like, PS2 games. Yeah. So, like, I don't need it to look that pretty, as long as it's, like convincing enough that you put the effort in, I'll buy it. Mm. But I could tell some of those were effects. I don't know what my thought would have been if I didn't know the boy got pushed out the window when his mom's all like, you shouldn't be climbing.
Yeah, well, I didn't know that the boy was going to get pushed out the window the first time I saw it, so...
I feel like I told you that, because I told you that's the only thing I knew about it.
I remember I was surprised when I saw him get pushed down.
I saw that 3 times somehow before. I don't know how. I literally have never seen anything before that scene. And I've never seen anything after the first episode before. I don't know how I've seen that 3 times.
I don't know either, but, like, I knew that Clive was going to be pissed, but I wasn't expecting him to push him out, like, off from the tower.
I mean, I think it's trying to establish for you that these are going to be some, like, kind of rotten, cruel people.
Yeah.
One thing they were showing off was, like, this is a tough world. Mm-hmm. You know, that's why, like, Boromir was even, like, you know, he didn't even seem like he wanted to kill the deserter, but he felt like, you know, this is a tough world. I kind of have to do this to keep, like, my power over people.
Yeah.
So, like, I feel like they're trying to give you an idea, like, this is not a lighthearted world where people are happy. Mm-hmm. You know, this is going to have some dark shit in it.
Yeah.
I think for that, it worked well.
It did.
And then I guess the other thing to talk about is the sheer amount of sex in that show.
Oh my god, all the sex.
So...
I have a feeling there's going to be a lot more.
So, I mean, sex sells. I'm 100% sure it's partially in there as a marketing thing.
Yeah.
Because, let's face it, it makes it easier for someone to watch something.
Yeah. Plus, there was a lot of sex in that time period. Like, everyone fucked each other.
Oh, no. I mean, I don't want to sound cynical with that either. Like, to its credit, it was integrated pretty naturally, I thought. Yeah. In the show, like, none of it felt tacked on. It all felt like it had some significance or relevance. Yeah. It's showing us that, like, the midget is kind of just a bum who just doesn't really do anything, you know? Mm-hmm. It's establishing that Clive and the Queen are incestuous. Yeah. Maybe Clive's the one who killed the king. I don't know. Yeah. So he could be with his sister again. Oh, God. It was establishing Just like the kind of culture that like the Dvorki, whatever they're called, the Dorcas people lived in.
Dorcas, isn't that a Fire Emblem character?
Dorcas? No, that was the bad guy in Planet Sheen, which is a spin-off of Jimmy Neutron. It was a terrible show. Don't ever watch it. But
Nope.
The one thing that felt like it could have been tacked on to me was the blonde girl with her creepy brother.
Mm-hmm.
That one just kind of felt like, okay, we just had kind of the camera lingering on her boobs and on her butt, and like he's like feeling her up, and it's like, okay, that's a little like, maybe they'll do something with it, but that kind of just felt like it was there to
just
have boobs in it.
Yeah, it's for the sake of boobs. Though I didn't mind it because, good boobs.
Oh, I mean, yes. I mean, yeah, it wasn't, I won't say it was a bad thing, but
yeah,
like...
she's probably the prettiest actress on the show that I've seen, anyway.
Yeah, no, but like, that'd be the one scene where I'm not 100% sure if that really had a purpose. It might have. Maybe her brother is also a creeper, and that's going to be relevant later.
Yeah, I mean, I also heard there's a lot of incest in the show.
Yes, but I kind of got the impression that her brother might not be a big character. I could be completely wrong with it. That was just the first impression I got from him.
Yeah, I have a feeling that he's going to die early on.
Yeah, I kind of got that vibe from him, too, that he's probably not going to last too long, because he seemed to be kind of in over his head with, like, the savage people and everything.
Yeah, it's like he seems way too confident to make it far.
No, I feel like they're setting him up to be, like, someone who dies to show you, like, the extent of the brutality of this world or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, I could be completely wrong about this.
Maybe he takes the throne at the end.
At the end, he climbs on the throne. But overall, I'm not sure what they're going to do with the savage people. Oh, I probably should mention this in summary. Blonde girl and her creepy brother, Varian. They're gonna name him Varian. So Blonde, Bipper, and Varian are trying to, like, they previously had, like, a kingdom or something, or a part of a kingdom, and it's been lost, and they're trying to marry into the Savage tribe so they can get an army back to then kind of reclaim their throne.
Yeah.
So that's kind of their motivation.
I don't know who took over their kingdom. Maybe it was one of the families that we saw.
Maybe it was the fat guy, Mikkel.
Mikkel or the... Yeah, I don't know.
But overall, I guess that's really all I have to say about the first episode. This kind of my predictions and stuff. Obviously, as we get further into the show, I'll probably have more to say in terms of predictions and of outcomes and stuff. But this first episode really just felt like it was supposed to be setting up other things. Mm-hmm. So don't really have a good read on what direction the story is going to go in yet, because the story hasn't really started.
Right, but I had
a few. Like I said, I don't think the kid's dead. I really don't think the kid's dead.
I think
I'm pretty sure
that's my prediction.
Blonde Varian is going to die soon. I feel like Clive's going to probably stick around through at least the first season, but I feel like he probably isn't going to be, like, that long term. I feel like he's going to die sometime in the first or second season.
Yeah. Oh, I actually know for a fact somebody who dies, but I'm not going to tell you. My dad spoiled it for me.
Oh, what a douchebag. But, just the impression I get from how the characters are going, I don't think Clive... And I'm sorry to Game of Thrones fans for not using the characters' actual names.
If we ever learn them.
If I learn them, I will, but I'm not going to go out of my way to look it up because there's too much a risk of spoilers for looking shit up. And then there's also the fact that, like, I go into everything with a neutral mindset, but that doesn't mean I go into it liking it. It has to kind of win me over enough for me to care to learn the characters' names.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, like, because I'm a nitpicky asshole, I'm not going to learn their names until it makes me care about them enough, which isn't a hard thing to do. I mean, plenty of things have won me over.
Yeah.
So, because like, I learned Ned's name.
Right.
The reason for that is because Ned and his kind of family are the characters I cared about the most in this episode.
Yeah.
So that's why I learned Ned and Bra and...
Well, we don't know his name.
But that's what they called him. They called him Bra.
Hey, Bra.
Bra and, like, Jon Snow and stuff.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know. As it goes on, I'll probably start learning their names and stuff, but, like...
I actually went into this hoping that I wouldn't like it because there's so many episodes and I didn't
No, there's not.
feel
there's like 10 episodes a season. It's actually pretty short.
Oh, but anyway, my point is that I ended up really liking it and I want to see more.
You were hoping you didn't like it so you don't have to watch more because it's long.
Yeah, I know, because I don't know, I hate catching up, you know, because I feel like...
I intentionally wanted to wait till the show was done to start it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I guess if you have any other miscellaneous thoughts about the episode, you can say them here.
I'm eager to see more. I think it was a good setup to what's to come.
I'm definitely interested in where it goes from here. Like I said, it's not enough to, like, I'm hooked yet or anything.
Yeah.
But, like, I mean, it's interests me enough that I'm willing to watch the next episode, you know?
Yeah. Gotta find out if Bra's dead or alive.
Yeah. Well, there's also the fact that he has a wolf. I don't know why, but I feel like he and the wolf are going to be companions for a while, and I feel like they killed him off too quickly for that. Mm-hmm. Because noticeably, even though all the kids got a wolf, his was the only wolf we kept seeing after that first scene.
That's true.
Just from my knowledge and storytelling, I don't think they show that off unless you're supposed to get invested in the relationship between him and the wolf. Probably for one of them to die later, probably the wolf. Mm-hmm. But because of that, that's another reason why I don't think Bra's dead yet. I don't think the kid's dead.
Mm-hmm. Well, hopefully we get to see more boobs and shirtless dudes in the future. I'm sure we will.
That's all you're looking to see.
Violence and sex. My favorite things in storytelling.
I guess to end this off then, what do you rate this first episode?
I'd probably rate it like, I don't know, 7 to an 8 out of 10.
I would call it a solid 7 out of 10.
Yeah.
And I just need to put this out there too, because a lot of people rate stuff on a scale where 7 is average. I don't. 5 is average on my scale. Mm-hmm. If you're above 5, you're good. If you're below 5, you're bad. 5 is dead set, like no strong opinions. Mm-hmm. That's how I rate stuff, because that makes more sense. Otherwise, if 7's your average, then like
everything else under it is just like shit.
Then you have like 3/4 of your rating scale as bad and 1/4 is good. And like that's not an accurate. That's not like a well set out scale at all. So I say set good and bad as equal and make 5 your middle point.
There are different tiers of good and different tiers of bad.
Yeah, I'd put this as a 7, which is like it's good. Mm-hmm. It's good, but like it's not like 10 out of 10 yet. Maybe it becomes 10 out of 10. I don't know. Overall, I definitely enjoyed it. So
me too.
And thank you very much then for listening in on our little episode review / discussion. We will be continuing to do this as we continue to watch the show. So if you're interested, definitely stay tuned for more of that. I believe this episode is called Winter is Coming, although I actually don't know off the top of my head if that's right or not.
I'm pretty sure that's what it's called.
It'll say in the title of this video what the episode was. But thank you all very much for listening. This has been Fabulous Fish.
And Catatouille 101.
And join us next time as we watch episode 2, which I guess will be Winter is Here. Or maybe winter's still coming.
Winter is here, Bra's dead.
Winter's right around the corner. See y'all then.
Bye-bye.